Welcome back, everybody. My name is Tucker and welcome to the second video of today. Earlier today we talked about the Brooklyn Nets and what they looked like on night one, and it was a very positive video. In this video, not so much. We're going to be talking about how the Golden State Warriors looked on night one and the fact that they didn't look great. Now we're not going to be reacting to every game throughout the season, but this matchup specifically I think was really insightful and really dramatic in terms of the takes you could possibly take from it, and that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. But quickly before we get started, if you enjoy content like this, then consider subscribing. I upload twice a day every day, so it's a great place for consistent NBA content. You can also leave a like rating on the video as well. Helps me out a ton. It lets me know that you're enjoying this piece of content and helps get it out to more people on YouTube as well. You can also check me out at various socials at the bottom of the screen that are in a link tree down in the description below. But with those things said, let's go ahead and talk about the Golden State Warriors night one. So in my preview content, I've been pretty optimistic about Golden State. I still believe in that championship pedigree that they've built. As long as Steph is healthy, as long as Draymond is healthy, I think they're a playoff team in the West and a team that is going to be able to do some pretty good things this year. I believe in them more than teams like Phoenix that are a bit more flashier offseason predictions. But even without Klay Thompson, I thought they had the pieces to be able to make this work. Now, last night, they did not look good at all from a couple of standpoints. One, pretty much every aspect of the game. Offensively, it was clear that the perimeter creation was an issue. Whenever Steph wasn't on the floor, they looked like the Warriors from last year, where there's just nobody on the floor that can create. And even when Steph was on the floor, there were issues when he wasn't the one initiating the offense. Oubre didn't do very many good Kelly Oubre things. Andrew Wiggins was basically invisible. James Wiseman, who we'll talk about throughout the video, had some good moments, but clearly looked like a rookie as well. And even Steph looked rusty. There were finishes at the rim that he wasn't converting on. As a whole, the Warriors were not very good at the rim. I don't know if the Nets are just the best defensive team in the league or if their offense is just that bad. Obviously, it's only night one, but it's not the kind of debut you want from Golden State, and it calls into question some things. One is Steph. Is this rust or is this him starting to decline a little bit? Is he going to be able to figure it out from a shot-making standpoint? The finishing ability is a bit of a concern, and obviously health. Is he going to be able to be healthy throughout the entire season? I think ultimately he's going to be able to figure it out. It's going to be more difficult than it has been in the past because they don't have that same level of incredible spacing, at least as of right now. They don't. And that's obviously going to make things more difficult for someone that is, such a great on-ball creator the way that Steph is. He needs that spacing. And if guys like Kelly Oubre, Andrew Wiggins are not making shots off the ball, that's going to be a problem. But Steph as an individual player, I really don't have concerns about right now. It would have been nice for him to finish better at the rim last night. That would have been something that would have kind of calmed some of my concerns about rust or injury issues or otherwise. Ultimately, though, I'm not super concerned about Steph. The circumstances around him and the spacing, yes, that's a concern, but him individually, no. The other guys on the wings, I certainly expected more out of, and throughout the year, I will expect more out of guys like Oubre and Andrew Wiggins. At times, they were invisible. At other times, they were just flat out making really bad decisions. And the Wiggins thing specifically is really concerning. I mean, he doesn't look like a guy that has any kind of confidence in his basketball ability at all right now. And I don't know if he's just trying to fit in and he's still thinking about like, oh, these are the Warriors. This is Steph Curry. I need to be passive. I need to, fit in. I need to average 10 points per game and play good defense. That's fine. But without Klay Thompson, like he needs to provide them more offensively. And I think it's worth questioning if that's something that he's going to be able to do. Oubre ultimately, I think, will be pretty fine. Like as long as they can figure out the other spacing stuff and provide lanes for him to drive and kick, he should be fine as well. The guy that I really want to talk about though here is James Wiseman, because if you wanted to paint a picture of like, what is the James Wiseman debut going to look like, it was probably this one. There were moments where you could tell he's an incredibly talented player, has some perimeter skill, great touch around the rim, huge guy, great athlete, great length. And it's clear why he was the second overall pick in the draft and why some people were so excited about him. But there were also moments where it was clear that this is the first time that he has played in a real basketball game in over a year. He was dropping passes, there were turnovers, he was trying to do too much at times, which you can't really blame him for given the lack of offense. And it's a tough debut for him being down so much so early. But if you're talking about upside, James Wiseman certainly has plenty of it, and I'm interested to see how he can continue to grow and develop with this Warriors team. If the spacing improves, is he going to be a really good rim roller? How is he going to look defensively? And as the season progresses, if things go really, really poorly, a lot of the season is going to start revolving around developing Wiseman and making sure that he is becoming the kind of player that they need him to become. And that will be a really interesting plot line to keep an eye on throughout the year. Outside of that, for the Warriors, the perimeter creation is a huge issue. Obviously, Draymond didn't play last night, and having him as the rim roller and creator and facilitator will be very, very helpful. And obviously, he'll help them out defensively, and that improves their depth because they don't have to bring up one other guy from their bench to start. And they've also got other guys like Eric Paschall that can, eventually do some things offensively. But apart from a trade, the perimeter creation thing is definitely a concern for me. I still am kind of believing that when Draymond comes back and he's healthy, and obviously it's only night one, they're going to be able to figure it out and they'll still be a good team. But I mean, I won't lie, my confidence is shaking a little bit in this team, even though it is only one game. Again, maybe the Nets are the best defensive team in the league, and that's why the Warriors struggled so much, and it's just rust. They'll kind of figure it out. They're dealing with some injury issues, whether that be to Draymond or otherwise, and they'll kind of get there and they're figured out. And again, it is only night one, and I would not recommend making any kind of predictions based off of night one. And there were people on Twitter last night trying to tell me, oh my gosh, I can't believe you picked them to make the playoffs. This team is awful. There's 71 more games to go. So we'll kind of see how they go throughout the year. It's going to be a tough West. It's going to be a tough road for them. And there's definitely flaws in this roster, maybe more so than I was willing to admit. But even as bad as they looked, we've seen teams with really, really bad opening nights, and they've been able to come back and been really, really good teams. I think the Lakers last year lost on opening night and ended up winning the title. I'm not saying Golden State's going to win the title. I'm just going to say one game out of 72, is not going to be something that's suddenly going to make me panic and run on the street shouting the Golden State Warriors are a completely awful team. So at the end of the day, that's kind of where I'm at in Golden State. I hope that they get better. I'm rooting for Steph to have a really good season this year. I think he was like 3rd or 4th in the MVP odds a lot of places coming into the season. So I think a lot of people had expectations for Steph, and hopefully he can follow through on those, and hopefully he can just stay healthy. Draymond comes back and they figure it out, and they're a really good defensive team, and they have enough offense with Steph and other guys off the ball that they can make it work and be a playoff team. I'm still kind of holding out on that. I still kind of think that's where we're going to end up with Golden State, but we'll have to kind of wait and see. But that is going to be the end of today's video, and I thank you all very much for watching. Once again, my name is Tucker. If you missed any of my previous videos, then be sure to check out the boxes on screen. I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day, and I will see you all next time.